Hey guys, Rick at Healing Field Farm. I wanted to talk about some things that we knew before we built our shed conversion tiny house. And hopefully, this will be helpful if you guys are planning it out or thinking about doing it. So the first thing was the cost of the overall materials. And some things were right on. And I've talked about this in other videos, but some things we were right on, like the cost of lumber. We had a good grasp on what that would cost. We didn't have a good grasp on what the electricity would run, and we figured because it was such a small house, wasn't going to need a lot, and we were only thinking, $500-600, and it ended up being twice that. There's stuff that maybe you think the electrical company will provide and they won't, and you'll have to buy that. So like the box outside where your meter goes in, you have to buy that. They supply the meter, but you have to supply the box. So there were just some things that were a little more pricey than what we thought, and that was the main one. And it kind of set us back a little further, getting things done. So really do your homework. Get some estimates. If you're going to hire it out, if you're going to do it yourself, make a list of what you need, and go to that hardware store and get your prices so that and you can really budget and plan things along, especially if you're doing it paycheck to paycheck, trying to get this done if you don't have a lot of savings or anything. So be very mindful that the cost of things and the prices are fluctuating like crazy. Lumber prices are way up right now, almost double what they were when we did this last year. So, a sheet of plywood that was $20 last year, it's 40 right now. So, do your homework, get your estimates in, give yourself a little extra financially to play with. So, the second thing is the time it would take. And like I had said, we were doing this basically paycheck to paycheck. So we ordered our shed, and our shed was ready, and we had to wait for the ground to harden up enough that the equipment could get on here and get the pad done. So that took some time, some patience, and then they finally brought the house once that was all done. And then we started finishing it off and building the walls and getting everything ready. And when you're doing it paycheck to paycheck, you can only get so much done a week. So, that first week we bought lumber. Well, it took me about a day to build all the interior walls, and that was all the money. So now we are waiting till the next week before we could start the next process. So definitely, plan out your time. Like I said before, get with contractors. If they're going to do the work, schedule that out, know what the cost is going to be, and kind of make yourself a timeline. Like week 1, you're going to do the walls, and maybe start some sheetrock on the walls that maybe aren't going to have outlets. Really you just have to plan it out step by step. You need your electrical in, and you can't insulate over that until you get your inspection. It might not matter if it's a tiny house, it's on a trailer, it's a little different monster. So just be aware. Like it does take a lot of time. I mean, we did ours ourselves. It took about 4 months altogether from the time the house got dropped till the time we moved in, and it's still not 100%. It's close, but not 100%. So the third thing is the stress levels and your mental health over it. It is a very, very stressful time. You are building your dream. You want to get it done. Maybe you're doing it check to check. Maybe you're having trouble with contractors. Up here, we had a really, really hard time getting contractors. There's only like 2 plumbers in the area, and we would basically play phone tag with them for weeks, and then they said they'd be here, and they didn't show up because they were overwhelmed. They had too much going on, and really, at that point, we didn't want them doing the work. So, fortunately, we found somebody up here on vacation, and he was licensed as a plumber, and he did all the plumbing for us at a really good rate. So we lucked out, but it is a very stressful time. So make sure you give yourself a little time to breathe, walk away from the situation sometime, take a day, relax, because you can't work all the time, with a 40-hour-a-week job and then spend the rest of your time building your house and not get a break, because it's just going to wear on you, and it's really, really just not healthy for you. So keep that in mind. Do what you can to reduce your stress levels. The fourth thing is the simplicity of some of the things that we didn't really have any experience doing. And, we researched some stuff, we watched some YouTube videos, and, some of the stuff we got really overwhelmed with, and the plumbing was one of those. And, we had watched a lot of YouTube videos on different plumbing setups and this and that, and it really, the more we watched, the more complicated it seemed to get. And that's one of the reasons why we hired out the plumber. And I had helped him when he first came to do everything, and I actually learned a lot just by watching him. And it was really, really simple, and we just kind of really overthought it. And granted, I'm glad that we did it the way we did it, but going forward, we're going to add some things and change some things around. I know that I can do those things now. So I never installed a chimney, and the main part of the chimney was already in place. I just had to get up on the roof and put the cover on and then run the rest of the stovepipe. And I had never done that before, and did a little research, not that hard, and whipped it out in a couple hours, and it was really simple. So sometimes things are a lot simpler than they seem. Please just don't try to overthink it. Just take a breath, and then lay it all out what you need. So, and then the fifth thing, is really, it goes into the last one, is how capable we actually were in completing this house. I had some carpentry background, so I know how to frame walls and put up sheetrock and stuff like that. But my wife didn't have any of that background, and I couldn't have done it without her. She was very helpful along the way, as well as our kids. They've never done any of this kind of stuff either, and they came and pitched in and helped us get certain things done. So don't think that just because you've never done something before that you can't do it, because you can, and a lot of times it's going to prove easier than what you thought. I will say, do some research, have an idea of what you're doing. You don't want to do the electrical all yourself and come to find out that nothing's to code. So, check with your code enforcement, get those things right, and then really just look at your needs on what you're going to need every day. Make sure you have the right outlets, the right kind of plumbing. We went with the PEX up here because freezing temperatures a lot, and if we went with copper, we probably would have had broken frozen lines all winter, and would have had cracks and everything else, and it just wouldn't have been a good thing. So do your research, get the right stuff for the right project, and that's really it, guys. Just those 5 things: the cost of materials, the time, the stress level, the simplicity of a lot of things that we didn't think we could do, and turns out we could, and then how capable we actually were, because we didn't hire anything out except for the plumbing, and we had some help with the electricity, but we did all the carpentry inside. We built our own kitchen cabinets. We did the sheetrock ourselves. We mudded. We remodeled ourselves. We did the chimney pipe ourselves. We hooked up pretty much all the electrical fixtures ourselves, and that's all stuff that we hadn't necessarily done or haven't done in years and years, and we did it. So I hope this has been helpful, and you guys can get some takeaways from this. And those days that you doubt in yourself or you have questions, just remember that you are capable, and you can really make what you want to come true. So thanks for watching, guys. Please, if you would just subscribe to our channel and follow us, we would appreciate it. And have a good day.